Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to share this video with you. I read a lot of good books in January. So yes, this is my January wrap up, all of the books that I read in January. And it was an interesting month. I was definitely very busy. It just feels like the more I settle into where I'm living, I don't know if you guys have been on my channel for very long, but about 3 years ago, yeah, my sister and I moved here to the city that we're in. So we've been settling in for the last 3 years. And when you really invest in a place, it takes up time. And the people that you meet and just trying to get out there and live life, it takes time. And the more you settle in, the busier you could get, which is totally a good thing. I love my life. I'm really happy with all the things going on. Plus all of my social media is growing and thriving and I'm so thankful. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. So despite being busy, I still read 11 books. Although you could argue 10 because I DNF'd one, but there you go. Really excited to share about these books. I reread most of the month. How many books? Okay, wait. I read 1, 2, 3 books that were new of the 11. Well, okay, fine. Of the 10. Of the 10 that I read, 3 were new. The rest were rereads. It was a rereading month. So yeah, I'm so excited to share these books with you. Some of them you'll see in vlogs coming up, and then some of them are brand new. So let's get into it. I am just going to go in order, I think, of when I read them. So I don't want to dwell too much on this DNF, but it was the first book that I tried to read this year and I DNF'd it. So that's really too bad. Jewel of the Nile by Tessa Afshar. I have loved most books by this author. This was just a random, don't know why I didn't like this book, but I did DNF it because it was so incredibly boring, I have to say. Yeah, so this was in my January TBR. It was one of the books that I tried to read. I had the audiobook for Jewel of the Nile and I had the physical book, and I couldn't get into it. I got about halfway through and I just didn't care what was happening. I just didn't find the story interesting. It was just really too bad. It's about this girl who doesn't know who her parents are, and I think on the back that she finds out that her dad might still be alive. She thought both her parents were dead, but her dad is still alive, and so she wants to go find him, but the people she's living with, which I think are her relatives of some sort, but I don't exactly know, they don't want her to leave because there's some kind of secret to do with her dad, I'm pretty sure. But she stows away on this boat and this guy finds her and that's what it is. But that sounded good, stowaway and close proximity because you're on a boat, but there was nothing cute happening, nothing that interesting. It was dull. It really was. So I gave up on it, and yeah, not an accurate representation of how much I like Tessa Afshar and what her books are like. There's some amazing gems of her books, but then there's some that just don't hit as well. So anyways, I DNF'd that book. It is what it is. Then, okay, so I did read, I had started reading Watership Down. Don't even know the author's name. Didn't clock that. But Watership Down, the bunny book. Okay, I started reading it in December or maybe even November. I had the audiobook, had the physical book. It's random. I just thought maybe a classic is gonna hit. And I remember watching little bits of the movie when I was younger and it scared me so bad. So I thought this was gonna be a scary bunny book. It's not. It's pretty chill. It's just these wild rabbits that can talk. They talk to each other and they have a whole society. They have politics. They have this way of life, and you're following these rabbits. So that's what it is. It just felt very long. I gave it 3 stars. It just felt long. I lost interest in some parts, but the narration was really great, and that's all I can say. If you don't like rabbits fighting, because there was some rabbit wars, there were some bunny wars, okay? Some bunnies don't make it out. Okay, that's all I can say. They don't make it out alive. So be aware of that. But it's not gory. It's not violent, I would say. But I was also removed from it because they were rabbits, not people. So yeah, 3 stars. Read a classic. That was random, right? So let's move on. Okay, so for the 2 books that I read for my reading challenge, I did decide to just make 2 of them count. Quite a few others that I read could have counted, but I didn't go for that. So anyways, the first book that I read for my reading challenge is Never Miss by Melissa Koslin, because this is a reread. So this counted for the past fave prompt. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I guess I'll scooch over. So for the past fave, I did read Never Miss. Give it 5 stars again. I tabbed it up, all my favorite parts. I love her writing style so much. Yeah. And this was a favorite book of the year last year. So I had ordered this on Amazon because it was like, I don't know, $9 or $10 on Amazon. I'm like, I'm never going to see it that low. I should just buy it. So I did. And now I own it. So that's why I wanted to read it again. And I tabbed it up and I'm really happy to do that. So this is definitely still a 5-star, highly recommend. I've talked about Melissa Koslin a lot lately because I just love her books, and I think more people should read them because I want her to get a publishing deal and publish more books, okay? Because the last book that she published was self-published, I'm pretty sure. I think it wasn't with, because like she was with Revell before. I don't think she's with Revell anymore, so pick her back up, you guys. Okay, and then for Patreon, we buddy read If the Boot Fits by Witemeyer, and I filmed a whole spoiler reading vlog. It is on my Patreon. I do have it technically up for sale too. It feels really weird to do that, but I was like, here, if you want, okay? So links down below. If you want to see my spoiler thoughts of this book, you can check that out. But it was so fun to chat with everyone, and this counted for the historical prompt on my reading challenge, okay? So yay, 2 done. But yeah, for If the Boot Fits, like, so I was excited to read this because I have heard so many controversial things. If you look on Goodreads, there's lots of mixed reviews, mostly positive though. There's only a few outlying that gave it 1 or 2 stars, but I just was like, how could a random historical romance Christian book cause this many issues among people? Like, I need to know. So yeah, we buddy read it together on Patreon and I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Like, I liked it better than Fairest of Heart. The romance, okay, the romance was really cute. And so this is a Cinderella, like, retelling inspired book where the girl is the prince and the guy is like the Cinderella character. But no one is like, not evil. No parent is like the bad one. It was so refreshing, really, to have 2 good parents on both sides that were actually good. There was a different villain, which was nice. But seriously, the romance was so cute. And the mystery, like, I didn't care who the bad guy was. So, like, but when it did come out, like, there was kind of a reveal that came out, too, that was like, whoa, okay, what? Okay, but so, the controversial part, though, in my opinion, it is so real and accurate to the time and not anything, like, so taboo. Like, it's not that taboo from what I thought it was going to be. And I had no idea. I had no basis for like, what could this possibly be? But in my opinion, it's not that bad. So if you have similar reading preferences that I do, I think you'll be fine with this book. It had like that part of it when it was being described, like what was going on, it reminded me just a touch of like the tone of Redeeming Love, like that kind of like intensity, but surrounded by grace and redemption. Like, everything was fine in the end. It all worked out. So I'm like, I think we're fine. And I liked this book. Like, it added depth, it added intensity that I like. Like, I'm definitely more into like deeper stories. I'm not as into the lighthearted stuff lately. So this hit that. It was really good. It made it a solid 4 stars for me, and I would recommend it, you guys. So that's me. Okay, glad I liked a historical book too, you know? And this is some of Witemayer's best writing, in my opinion. I've read a couple of her books and they're quite cheesy and lighthearted, but this one was the least, in my opinion, which I liked a lot. So there you go. Okay, I'll talk about the other book that I didn't reread, and then I'll just go through the rereads after that. So I did also read Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. I give this 3.5 stars, I think 4 on Goodreads. It's definitely a solid 3.5. It's not quite a 4. I probably should put it down to 3, but enjoyed it for what it was. There was a few aspects that like really made it good, and then kind of everything around those few made it like a 3-star level. So whatever. So this is the first book in the Sweater Weather series and the Appies series. So I don't know how they're managing that, but there you go. Yeah, so I really liked Emma St. Clair's writing in this. I liked, yeah, just how she wrote this hockey team. They're all very sweet men, which I like. Like, there were some that like had reputations and stuff, but it was just nice to see like a nice team. I don't know if that's accurate. I've heard that hockey players actually are quite rough, so whatever. But Just Don't Fall follows this guy who gets, what do you even call it? Recruited to this team. He transfers into this Appy's team, and the social media manager is the girl, and she is like buds with all the players, but she knows this new guy. They were childhood friends, and he like kind of left out of nowhere, and she's always harbored feelings for him, but also was like hurt that he left and didn't say anything. So then he sees her and is like, what is she doing here? And yeah, so they have a little bit of a like meeting, and their interactions were super cheesy, but there was cute moments as well. I did like that they had a lot of conversation. They did talk, but it felt surface level, which is okay. And then one of the big aspects that I liked was the girl. Her personality and just the aspects of her character I thought were unique and interesting, and they made her character and like reading about her a better experience. So one of the main things related to her was she had never been kissed. She'd never kissed anyone, and she was like in her late 20s, early 30s, and so she's always kind of like felt ashamed of that. But she's just had really bad experiences with men, and she kind of went into details about that, and I just like really related to it and enjoyed seeing, rather than like kind of being praised for having all this experience, like she was more so like being treasured because of her lack of experience. Like, he was so understanding of her and like so accepting, and it was really sweet. So I really enjoyed that about their interactions and their relationships. So that definitely made the book for me. The rest of it, like, I just, whatever. It didn't really hit. Like, it wasn't amazing, but like her character and the way that they interacted, it was beautiful. I liked that a lot. So yeah, I would recommend it. It was clean, no language. They kissed like twice maybe, and it was like pretty chill. But like, he does have some one-liners like of thinking about her or like complimenting her that was just so swoony. So yeah, 3.5. Okay, on to the rereads, you guys. So the other book that was like almost winning my Patreon poll for January was The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers. And I had put it as an option because I had started reading it in December, and I thought that maybe it'd be fun to read it with everyone. But then I just like binged it and finished it, so I was hoping that it wouldn't win, because then I would have to like reread it and make a spoiler blog for it. So it's fine. But this was a reread. I'd only read it once, so this was only my second time, and I absolutely love this book, you guys. Like, I love this book because the faith content, the way that these characters, like, if you've never read this, truly, so it follows a single mom who's struggling. She is just trying to get by, trying to like take care of her son. She ends up working for this guy named Roman. He's an artist, and he just needs a personal assistant. So she works for him. They're super attracted to each other, and there's sparks. But she is a devout Christian, and she is not making those mistakes again. She does not want to get involved with this guy. He has no moral compass at all. He does whatever he wants, and he wants her. But that setup, it was so well done, because you get backstories, like flashbacks to both of them, so you see where they've come from. It was so well done, showing like her struggle of holding on to her faith and trusting God and holding to her convictions, and then him not understanding her and like why would she like resist, and then him feeling so lost, and there's something going on with his health as well, and just his come to Jesus moment and like his whole redemption arc was so satisfying and messy and beautiful, and I absolutely loved it. And the way they come together in the end, it was so good. I love this book. So yeah, 5 stars, highly recommend if you've not read this. It's a contemporary story. It's set in LA, and there's no language, and there's only like kissing, but there is like talk of abuse, child abuse, domestic abuse, and yeah, like drinking and stuff like that. So definitely like PG-13. Okay, then I started rereading some of Lynn Blackburn's books, because I had not owned them when I first read them, but as I've been purchasing them, or I've been gifted them, I've been rereading them. So I just love her relationship dynamics and all of the characters. She writes a group of characters so incredibly well, and their interactions, the dialogue, it's so witty, and like I just think that is her like skill in writing this. Her mysteries don't mean much to me. They don't hit, but the characters though, and the relationships. Yes, please. Okay, so Beneath the Surface is the first book. Tabbed it right up. This one is so cute. So the girl is a nurse and the guy is, what even is he? A detective, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, nurse and detective, very cute. They find a body at the bottom of the lake on her property. So they're like, okay. So they have to like be around her a lot. Okay, and then this one is the second one, In Too Deep. And this follows another detective and then kind of this like really smart research lady, like computer nerd. And more mysteries are happening. And this one I gave 4 stars when I first read it, but I would almost bump it up to a 5 because their relationship was so cute. She was the like kind of like emotionally stilted one where she's like so logical. She doesn't really read people well. And the way he loved her was so beautiful. I loved it. The thoughts, like check my Goodreads review. I put my favorite quotes, okay? Because the way Adam was like so obsessed with her, I'm like, yes, please. Amazing. So very much enjoyed those. Beneath the Surface was 4 stars still. In Too Deep is like a 4.5. Enjoyed that a lot. Okay, and then if you have been seeing on my community tab, I have been posting about the Hunger Games. So I wanted to read, so the Hunger Games was on my January TBR, so yay, I read it. And I was reading this because I want to like kind of have all of the characters and the storyline fresh in my mind for when Haymitch's story comes out in March. And I thought it was going to take me a long time to read these books, but I got the audiobooks for all these books, so I was like tandem reading them. And the audiobooks are so good. They're very well done. I liked the narrator a lot. She doesn't sound like a 17-year-old girl. Like she sounds like a straight up woman, like 35-year-old woman, but that's okay. Her narrating was great. And yeah, so the Hunger Games, I gave 5 stars. I posted about it. If you read these books, please check my community tab and put your spoiler thoughts in the comments because we're chatting there and it's not too late. Like if you're still on the Hunger Games, post in the Hunger Games post. I'll still see it and I'll react to it and we can chat. So yeah, that was really great. But man, I just love Katniss as a character. I forgot what a great character she is. She's deep, she has so much heart, and I really relate to her and I look up to her and she's just so cool. And so I really enjoy reading from her perspective and I loved it. So there's the Hunger Games. I gave that 5 stars, and then Catching Fire as well, gave 5 stars. This is so good. Even though like the Hunger Games, yeah, the games don't start until like almost halfway through the book. I think past halfway. It's so fast paced, like the pacing is so good. I just loved it. So 5 stars again. Mockingjay, I gave 4 stars because that's where I feel like the pacing kind of slowed down. Like when they're doing their thing, I'm like, we could probably skip some of this, like just speed it up, you know? Maybe see like more of the characters interacting rather than like fight scenes, I don't know, but still like 4.5 stars, like definitely still really liked it. This series has a lot of violence, but it has no language and no spice, so it is nice for that. But yeah, definitely a lot of violence, but I loved it. So I'm for sure going to dive into The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in February, but that was really exciting to reread those books because I have reread them before, but it had been a very, very long time. And with the audiobooks, it was really satisfying to do that. So yeah, did I cover everything? I think so. So yeah, you can see that a lot of my reading was with audiobooks / rereading. So that's kind of why I had time to do that, because it took a little bit less brain power to like know what was going on, because I already did. I'm kind of still in that boat where I just want to like not have to have my brain turned on to like figure this out. So that's where we're at. But yeah, thank you for watching. I think that's everything. So I'll write all the books down below, and please let me know what you read, what was one of your favorite books, and yeah, all the links and things will be below. So thanks for being here, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys. You guys, before I'm gonna get going with this video, I dropped my ring light. It was fully my fault. Like I should have known, but I was like, maybe it'll be fine. So the plastic part like fell off, so I stuck it back on, but it's like cracked and it will fall off if I touch it. So that is too bad. I could upgrade, but yeah, it still works though, like it'll still turn on, but then just like what do you call it? Like when the light goes through something so that it's distilled, is that right? I don't know, but that part is the broken part. So maybe they have a replacement of that? I don't know. Anyways, let's get into it.